production. Good evening, gentlemen. This is Sir Yeetus, and this is episode 51 of Yeetus's Thoughts. And I came up with this topic today because of the meme that I posted earlier when it came to women being lied to, especially when it comes to music. Okay, but we're going to go to the broad spectrum of how society is lying to modern women. Okay, and modern women is just stuck in a gaze throughout all their years until it's too late. And they fail to realize that they've been already replaced by the fresh, upcoming 18, 19, 20-year olds. Okay. And unfortunately, in the West, with modern women, the young women will fall for the same trap. We will get through multiple segments when it comes to this, okay? Because there's plenty of ways how society tries to blind women on how they can go around and have their little 304 fest riding the carousel and still expect to be taken seriously when they're in their 30s, they're run down, and they think that they can get a ring by a man that they want. Life is life is not that simple. Life doesn't go your way at times, especially with the choices that you make. But here's the thing: women, especially since who God knows how long. Okay, this is why I believe that women I ain't talking about all women. Majority of them, they cannot think long term. All right, they're short term individuals because they always see a man as a get out of jail free card. They see a man as a way out of the hole that they purposely dig themselves in. Okay. And society, they fuel that delusion. They fuel that ideal. But reality is often disappointing. Thanos. But we'll get to it in a bit. I got plenty of topics on this one. But who I have with me is the one, the only, Rishi.
I say. How you boys doing?
Is that your redneck?
What are you talking about, redneck? You fucking yuppie.
You just call me a
You
yuppie.
see, out here, we do things a little differently than we do in the big city.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, what do? You just chase around catfish all day?
You chase around catfish. I don't know what you talking about, city boy. It's called fishing pole. You get
Fi-
it? You get
Fishing
a little
poles.
bite, you put it on a
No,
hook,
no, no. Fishing
and you
poles are for
throw
city
that.
too. You're supposed to fish with your hands.
All right. Whatever you say, sucker.
Look at
What's up?
just a random guy, Rishi Neck.
True,
Oh
Nick.
shit. Oh, oh, I've never seen you before. Uh, Nielsen. Did I say it right? Nielsen. Okay. It is cruel to lie to women, particularly cruel to men, for we shall never be as good at either cruelty or lying as they. I think that's a good quote. What do you think about that one?
Uh, yes, I guess, like, I don't know about cruelty. Like, maybe lying because they
Or
have to.
the lack
But
of empathy or sympathy.
I suppose. What do you mean I'm ignoring you, JR?
What, JR? Hold up.
Try
What,
under. Arishi, ignore me some more, homie. What do you mean?
why you? Come on, man.
I just hopped on. What'd you say?
Dear Rishi, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. What?
What?
What kind of stand shit is it?
What do you mean, bro?
He's gonna send you a cassette tape, bro.
Damn.
Oh shit.
Today?
Okay.
Nah, I'm not
Um.
hungover today. I didn't drink yesterday.
Yeah.
I was hungover yesterday, bro. It was bad.
Oh damn. It was that bad?
It was pretty bad, bro. It was
Oh
like
shit.
dry. I was like dry, you know. It wasn't pretty, but drink some water, power through it, and we were
Yeah.
good.
Fuck that. Okay. Yeah, that got peace, Dan. Exactly what I thought. That's what I'm saying. Jr. You giving me those Stan vibes. Fun fact: Stan is part of the dictionary now, so yeah, I'm allowed to use it. Do 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 do. Okay, we look through majority of the comments. Let's go up. Let's go up. I know there was a ribby comment. Somebody say, "Oh, what did everybody think of the Ripstar first live?" Hell yeah, it was amazing.
Pretty
Oh
good,
yeah,
bro.
because the Warband was there. All right, we have our homies back. All right, so I am going to just send one invite right now. Whoever wants to come in and talk about it, because I have plenty of topics on this. Plenty. If you have an input as well, definitely come join the chat. This is going to be a great conversation. You're a lot better now, Rishi.
What's up?
So you're a lot better now. You got over the hangover.
Yeah, it was like yesterday, bro. I'm fine.
Oh
It's, I,
shit!
yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine now. Like, I mean,
Some people can't get over their hangover for days.
nah, I got some good shit. I got some like I don't know what it's called. It's like something that helps that hydrates you and it has a bunch of like shit in it.
Are you
Uh
talking about Pedialyte
it's
or
not really. It's not Pedialyte. It's like a mixture you put in water.
a packet full of
Yeah.
electrolytes?
Yeah, it's like electrolyte supplement. I just got
Yeah,
that.
I
Yeah.
remember my dad giving me that one before. I
Works
went
pretty
too
well.
I went too hard on New Year's one year.
I should have took your advice and probably drank that before I went to bed though.
You should have drank it before you went to bed, man. Oh,
But I didn't
uh,
listen. I was too tired.
I know how you feel, man. Like you have those days where you just walk inside the apartment and you just plop on the bed. Like I don't give a fuck. I'm going to sleep. Then you wake
Yeah.
up at around like 8 p.m.
That's that's for future me to worry about.
But we're gonna add one person, a regular guest on the show. Okay, the one, the only Gray.
Hello, Warband. So, what's to say here about catching catfish with a fishing pole?
Yeah, that's what Rishi said.
Yeah, you
He's,
gotta noodle them, bro.
yeah, that's what I said. You
Nah.
gotta use your whole fucking hand, like your arm. Like, you gotta shove your arm down their throat, pick them up.
Oh yeah.
You city slickers are all the same. No,
But
you ain't know nothing about the country. That's all right.
okay, well, you say you want to get catfish with the fishing boat. Come on.
Man, only the master can get his fishing boat.
This dude. But we're gonna start the topic because I believe this is a great topic.
Yeah.
So, plenty of things in society purposely lie to women to keep them in delusion that they are so empowered, so feminist, so equal to men that they think that they can LARP as men. One the example of that is what I posted earlier with my meme, the music industry, mainly hip hop. Okay. And in hip hop, all races listens to hip hop music. or R&B or whatever. But for example, Beyonce, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj. I don't know if she has a boo thing, but what's her name? Megan the Stallion, whatever the fuck her name is. Okay, all of them are so adamant in their music, pushing how, oh, you don't need a man, you don't need this, tell him to pack up and go away. You single as hell. You're good by yourself, single. You need to pop that wet ass puniti. Okay, and then after they're done making that music and making the millions, they go home to their own husbands. Okay, which is facts. While they have women in society running about claiming that, oh, man ain't shit, we don't need a man, blah, blah, blah. And a big influence, in my opinion, is music. What do you have to say about that, Gray?
Well, that's the thing. I think music in particular is more influential on women than it is on men.
Yeah, true.
That's it. Well, because a lot of the time, like, women do deal a lot with the verbal. Like, they're very talkative. They like to talk. They like to repeat what they've heard. Like, if you've ever encountered a woman who just learned a new word, she'll look for any opportunity to use it.
But you see how bad her behavior becomes because of that music and the music videos they watch? Holy shit.
Absolutely. But that's the thing. But with music specifically and women, like, let's be honest, like, there's grifters and scammers all over the place. But the music industry is especially useful on women.
Yeah.
Because it uses language to project the fantasy. Whereas if you want to hoodwink a man, you usually end up having to use visuals.
Well, true. Yeah, visuals do work on a man. And the provocative nature of women and how they present themselves in a video, that makes it even worse on top of the lyrics that they're explaining. So these young women, these women in general, they believe that that's okay to be walking around in public in that outfit, doing the twerk dance, talking about I don't need a man.
TikTok nurses twerking in the hallways.
Literally in the hallways, in the hospital, in funerals. Funerals, it's crazy.
Doing the TikTok dance in front of the
raise your daughter right, or she'll TikTok dance on your grave.
Bro, I will come out of my motherfucking grave with the belt ready. I have my whole belt ready. You need a everlasting ass whooping before I pass away. Fuck that. Oh hell no. And just to sidetrack a bit, that female, I forgot who she was, but she took a picture of her father and made it about herself at his funeral. I don't know if you guys heard about that, but yeah, I'm like, the audacity, the fucking, literally, imagine you die and then your daughter's wearing provocative clothing, making it about herself at your funeral.
Well, Tom Sawyer just come down from the rafters, but with an ass whooping ready.
I'm telling you, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll come out from the fucking casket. You
I faked my death to see what my daughter would do at my funeral.
Oh, lordy, I can't. But I'm going to add one more person. That guy Pete, what's going on?
What is going on, my brudas? Puniti.
Puniti. Congratulations on your rapid success that's happening so far.
Bro, like, I'm still in shock from that shit, bro. I was not expecting that at all, man. The fact that Thinking Ape actually, like, did me a solid like that. Me and him kind of had a back and forth a little bit, but I wasn't expecting him to go the extra mile like that.
Well, I'm sure he respects that. I'm sure, like, I go back and forth with Gray almost every stream, you know? I still want him on, you know. It's you too. Like, we went back and forth a couple of times on the Black Pill.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
I want people that's able to challenge my belief. We were able to exchange. What the fuck was that? Was that a flute?
That was my fucking headphones. My
Oh,
bad.
I was about to say. I was
Sounded like a recorder.
I'm like, why are you picking up a flute?
I thought I'd play a song for you, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Give
But
you a
The
theme song.
bard.
Give you a theme song while you get out of the grave and beat that girl with the fucking belt.
oh, it won't be just some regular belt. You know the belts that like are braided with tiny
Yeah, those
belts?
studded shits, right?
Oh yeah, those are the worst. I know personally, those are the worst. But when it comes to the topic that we have today, right? When it comes to how society they like to lie to women in multiple ways. One of them, and I think is one of the main methods, is through music, more specifically hip hop. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, man. Well, I think whether you're talking music or any other outside variables like mainstream media and stuff like this, the core of the deception is this. Okay. Basically, the mainstream media tells women it's okay to be a hoe, right? And you're still going to get the result that your grandma got when your grandma was not a hoe. That's really the core of it.
Yeah.
And the reality is, nah, man, that's not how it works because men care about body count. I mean, that's really the core of it. And what's funny about it is, wasn't there a clip like Cardi B, like some guy was recording her like fucking cleaning the apartment and shit?
That was her husband.
Yeah. So like, listen, they go out and they make the music, but
Yep.
then behind closed doors, like they're doing the domesticated shit and all that. So again, like it's almost deliberate, right? It's like, cause they know, hey, population's getting a little too high. We got to get these girls to start, thotting around, because if they're thotting around, they're not thinking about having kids. And that kind of gets the population to go on the decline. And at least in the West, it is on the decline. So the way that they're trying to like get someone to pick up the tab is to kind of loosen the restrictions on immigration and shit like that to replace all the babies we're not having. So yeah, I mean,
that tax revenue.
yeah, exactly. And that's why also they probably want to like have like votes changed a little bit where like you don't have to be a US citizen to vote and shit like that. They want to change that too. So I mean, at the core, put simply, whether you're talking music or anything else, it's simply that they were told they could be hoes, but they'll get the same outcome their grandma got. That's really the core of it.
Yep, that's pretty much the simplified version.
Yeah,
that
pretty
crappy
much.
is trying to end my live stream early. Goddamn.
Sorry.
All right, everybody go home. Reese, do you have anything to add to how society lies to women through music?
Nah.
Everything was pretty much said.
Yeah, I think everything's pretty much been said.
Okay.
I got a little extra bit to add on, actually.
Oh,
All right, let's hear it.
So part of it too, because like I watch like a bunch of videos on the fitness industry, and like a couple guys make a pretty good living like debunking a bunch of like the male grifters and shills that are selling all sorts of like bullshit supplements that don't actually work, or like people on steroids posing as naturals. But in those cases, there's always consequences, usually very visual ones. Like, sure, you can pump your arms full of synthol so that you look jacked as heck, but then like you start getting reports of necrotic muscle tissue. And most guys will like think twice about injecting themselves with synthol if they hear or see muscle necrosis. But with women, the consequences are delayed. Like
a lot of men are able to overlook, because
yeah, I mean, I have something to build off that. So again, I always say this. I say, look, listen, ladies, you want to rack up a body count, that's your business. But what women do, and here's where they fuck up, they conflate their sexual market value with their relationship market value. They think that just because Chad will bang them, that means that she's worthy of commitment from a Chad. And it's absolutely hilarious that they think that, because that's totally not how it works, because a man can separate sex from the emotion. I always say this. So when I look at it at its core, these women, what happens is this. They have sexual market value in their 20s, and men will still bang them in their 30s. That's still going to happen. So they think like, oh, I could just keep swiping on Tinder, and they do that all throughout their 30s, assuming they didn't get married. If they get married, they get divorced in their late 30s, and they do it all over again in their 40s.
Oh, they're still swiping even when they're married.
I mean, yeah, sadly, that is becoming more common. If you see the TikToks with these girls, oh, look who I'm meeting with after I dropped off the kids. Yeah, that's true. Very good point, Gray. But I mean, at the core, what you're seeing is that for some reason, you got these women who are so delusional. They think, hey, they can get knocked up by Chad, pop it out, and then they get on Tinder and say, we're a package deal. And you think I'm going to treat you the same way as before you had a kid. Like, again, yes, your sexual market value, don't get me wrong. You look good. You're a solid 8 in sexual market value. But that kid, that ruins you, like for relationship market value. And then they wonder why they get ghosted. It's hilarious to me.
What you gotta say about that, Gray?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Even like a single mother with a bunch of kids, like she will still have simps who are totally willing to go for that.
Correct. But her options are essentially men who don't want her, so they're not options, or men she doesn't really want.
Bingo.
She will never get the commitment of a man she genuinely desires, and that is her punishment.
But that's also where like the false conflation happens. Because
Correct.
She thinks all these men who I don't want me, and all men are the same. Therefore, the men I do want will want me.
Correct. That's the apex fallacy. Their experience with the top 20 makes them think that 100% of men are like that. Correct. When it's just not true.
Well, that was a great fucking conversation. I was very intensive on that shit. That was a good exchange. Holy shit. I like that. You know, I learned something today, actually. But we will move to the next topic. I'm sure all you guys, especially the men in the chat, knows about this. Another way that society lies to women is through television, through the media, more specifically, Sex in the City. Okay, they have women and all the way down to young girls watching this show, thinking that when they get older, they can just run around and go from man to man, do whatever they want. Wearing provocative clothing. They think they can pull as many because there's only Chads, and I don't know if there's a Tyrone in the Sex of the City, but there's only Chad and Tyrones in Sex of the City. All right, there is no average man. So based on that perception that these young women and little girls look at, they believe that, hey, hell, when I get older or right now, I can do the same thing. I can just run around and go from Chad to Tyrone, Chad, blah, blah, blah. And I'm pretty sure the creator of Sex in the City said that, hey, I pretty much was too biased and like pretty much lied to my audience just so they can get the views. I'm pretty sure the creator of Sex in the City say that. I have to look it up. But that's insane. On top of shows called like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Desperate Housewives, Bridezilla, and I'm missing some other shows. But all these things that, young women and girls, they watch from like very young, they are heavily influenced by what they see on the TV. What do you have to say about that, Pete?
I mean, it's basically the same principle as the music, right? I mean, when you look at it at its core, you're basically training women to be 304s. That's basically what you're doing. And again, I do want to correct one thing, right? In the sense that there are women out there that say, oh, I am happier single and shit like that. And we know 9 times out of 10 that's bullshit. We know that. They're wired to seek out a protector and provider who will lead. But there are a handful of women who are. And what I honestly say to the women who are watching the programs and they do embrace that life, it's like, hey, as long as you know what the consequences are, that you will never be wifey. If you know that and you still make the decision, you're like, yep, that's what I want to do.
Yeah,
I
as long as you
have no problem with you.
Yeah, as long as you accept
the consequences.
Yeah.
The problem is most women don't accept the consequences. They think they can have their cake and eat it too, which is just adorable.
But that's even the thing. Like, they'll say, oh, yes, I totally accept the consequences. But you got to remember the rule. Like, before, you have to add I feel, and after, right now. So when she says, yes, I accept the consequences, what she's really saying is,
I feel like I accept the consequences
right now.
Correct. It's like when a girl says, what was it like? There's something that was said about like alphas and betas. Like, oh yeah, I don't normally do that for you. It's kind of like that, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. But here's the thing: there are a handful. But again, yes, we're not going to redefine the whole fucking rule on it. Of course not. But yeah, it's abundantly clear that just like the Cardi B's and shit like that, there's Sex in the City and things like this. And there's even like on, I don't know, maybe I'm stepping on your toes here a bit by saying on like advertisements, like commercials between the programs, they have like these friggin' like denim jeans commercials of plus size women and shit like that, where it's like, oh, it's okay to look like this. Yes, somebody will fuck you, but not the guy you want.
Yeah, pretty much. I agree.
It's so funny to me, man. It writes itself. It writes itself.
And that's actually brings up an interesting point with the visuals on women, because when you had like so many supermodels being, well, thin, you got all these plus size women complaining like, oh, hey, we're not all that size, that doesn't represent me. But that's the thing, like they won't complain about that with like really any sort of literary medium, anything that uses a lot of words. Like if it's pure visual, they seem to have more resistance to it.
Yeah, but also again, women don't get to decide what men want in the market, just as men don't get to decide what women want. And I think that's something that they forget. Again, they tried to use the sexual liberation movement to change the standards on modesty. They did the feminist movement to try to change the standards on femininity. And now they're coming for the fucking body. They want to use the body positivity movement to change the standards. And like I said, somebody will hit, but the average man's not going to do it. There's no way.
It's going to backfire so hard.
The curtain is going to fall sooner or later. And when it does, I'm not going to lie. It's probably going to be pretty hilarious. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the funny thing, because like you change your clothes, like whatever, like you can change out, you can change back. Like tattoos, hair, little longer lasting consequences. But like you gain 50 pounds, that's not easy for most women to take off. Of course,
true,
great for,
but at least they can. Yeah, but at least in theory they can take it off. It's not like if you're a guy and you're 5'2", it's like, bruh, like yeah, it's like they want to compare it, like their plight is the same thing as like what a short man goes through. It's like, get real. No, absolutely not. Yes, I can give a guy who's 5'2", right? I can give him a pair of Timbs with a 2-inch heel and some heel inserts to give him another 2 inches. He'll be 5'6" when he's out on the streets. But even then, they're still going to make fun of him because he's not even anywhere near like 5'8", which I think is the average.
Yeah, because being 5'2", I highly doubt he'll even have the confidence to go out there as a 5'6", because
he knows what time it is.
Yeah, women can smell, a man with a lack of confidence from a mile away. Like she can tell immediately. So, I know there's plenty of men out there that fakes it till you make it, but when it comes to the specific men that are not used to approaching women, they can tell immediately.
True, but also there is a basic looks test where fake it until you make it will not cut it. But again, we always say that is a minority. That's like 1 in 5 guys.
Yeah. Because I'm saying like the 5'2", of course, he, unfortunately, shout out to my short dudes. It's not going to look well for him, but even him gaining 4 inches, which there will be, small amount of women that wouldn't mind, but even then, the fact that he had a lack of experience with women, it won't matter.
True. And I actually, but here's the thing. We always talk about like general versus exceptions to the rule, especially like when I talk to women, they always think we're speaking in absolutist terms, of course, right? Because it's easier to disprove it that way. It's a straw man.
Yeah.
But I see exceptions every day. I work with someone who's 5'2". He's dating a girl that's 5 feet tall. Yeah, he fucking figured it out. I don't know how he did it, but I'm like, bro, good for you, man. But
I know somebody, a very short dude myself, I ain't going to out him on here, but, he's ex-Navy and he literally has a whole family.
Correct.
Like,
So just
let's go,
Well,
bro.
outliers exist, but don't let it redefine the rule. Be
Yeah,
real with yourself
exactly.
when you're out there. But
Yeah.
when you see it,
being
be happy
fit
for him.
helps too. Like if you like ex Navy, I imagine he's like in pretty good shape.
Yes,
Like,
he
if-
is. Yeah.
Like it'll definitely it'll improve your odds. It's definitely not a guarantee, and you're definitely going to want to look for a woman shorter than you because they are just straight up. At the very least, we can fairly admit it limits your options. Like women, by and large, are not going to go or consider serious a guy who is shorter than them if they have to look physically down at him. No. Like,
correct. Yeah, and the reason for that's genetic because in her brain she knows if I mate with this guy, my son will be short. Fuck that. His chances of reproducing just went down the drain. That like there's like a subconscious like subroutine in her head, like telling her like stay the fuck away. Why do you think girls that are 5 feet tall, they're the ones always bitching 6 feet tall or get the fuck out because their genes are trash. But a girl who's like 5'8" is okay with it.
Yeah, my opinion, these 5 foot girls, 5'2" girls, they don't even know what 6 foot looks like.
We've seen the video. We know they don't know what 6 foot is.
Yeah, I'm
Brutality.
like, what the fuck? Right. But Rishi, do you have anything to add on to how entertainment such as, TV lie to women?
Oh,
More
yeah.
specifically Sex in the City.
Well, I mean, like you gotta think who watches like these TV shows, at the midday, whatever. I guarantee that most guys aren't gonna watch them because they're at work for most of the day, slaving away for the man, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's only, it's only logical that as we know, they appeal to women. So are they going to tell women that you this and that? You got to get married before your eggs dry out and your dusty old bag?
Nope. The creator of Sex in the City admitted him. I think it was himself.
Herself.
Sorry.
I've got the article pulled up.
Yeah,
actually.
she lied. She said, "Hey, I was just appealing to the utopia of women." And she said that she kind of regretted her decision to, give out this type of lifestyle, this culture of women just going out and screwing whoever they please. It's too funny. It's funny, how this is what's gonna go to the next topic that I'm going to speak about.
Well, actually, slight tangent actually can bring off because good perception brought up with television specifically is the female perception of men as well. Because keep in mind, most men in television, media, movies, they are A, jacked, but B, they're predominantly tall. And if they're not tall, they're given the illusion of tall. Like how tall is Tom Cruise actually versus how tall is he in the Mission Impossible movies?
He's 5'5", 6". 5'6".
That's the thing. Like he's short by Hollywood standards, but if you look at how he's framed, how he's cast, how he's posed in movies, he always appears far taller than he actually is.
Yeah, and in the looks department, just straight up, he won the genetic lottery. So
except for height.
Except for height.
That's the thing. Like he's got the face.
Yeah.
Like in spades, but he doesn't have the height, and he's constantly got to compensate for that in order to keep the illusion up in film.
Yeah, and women don't care at that point once you obtain that status as a celebrity. You got that A-list celebrity status. Most women.
I'm willing to bet that that's the thing, but they're still taken aback.
They are, yeah.
Like they meet him in person, and they're like guaranteed he's heard more than once. You're shorter than I thought you were.
That's true, but with all that money in the bank and how he's beloved around the world, I'm sure eventually she'll look at him as 6 foot.
Yeah, but a man who isn't Tom Cruise, but in the same situation, great in the face, but he's a bit shorter. Yeah. He's going to have it a little bit harder just because of that height.
Yeah, definitely harder. Definitely. So see, that's where the confusion comes in because both aspects, like looking, handsome and being tall, that's where it becomes an issue. 5'6", it's like, depends on how that chick is feeling, you know. So
Well, and
I
then
see,
there's also the physique as well. Like, so for example, Henry Cavill in The Witcher, in order to do a shirtless scene, he needed a 6-pack. It took him 3 days of dehydration to get that 6-pack.
bro, that dude is. I proclaim him as a Giga Chad.
But that's the thing. Even Giga Chad needed to
Has to
dehydrate
work.
for 6 days to meet the standards of modern women.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, when it comes to the, his height, his handsomeness, because he's mainly looking good for the screen, right?
Oh, definitely.
But if he's out on the town, on top of that, he's British.
No, but even another one, Jason Momoa. Actually, there was a vacation photo posted where he wasn't in his Aquaman physique, and he actually, got a little bit of a gut, like his abs
he had that
disappeared.
tore up shirt on.
Maybe it's
He
been
had
a while since I've
holes
seen
in
the
it.
photo. And then this woman comments like that. Oh, like he can work on it. Like a woman who's a freaking 5 at best, criticizing Jason Momoa for not maintaining fucking superhero standards on his vacation. Like that is the level of delusional entitlement we're dealing with here.
Welcome to the internet.
Was he on vacation or was he dealing with that divorce BS?
I think he was on vacation at the time. I'd have to go back and find the image in the video where I saw it.
Okay, because he's currently, which I knew it wasn't going to last.
No, this was months ago.
Okay, yeah, like he's going through that divorce thing right now, and turns out what I heard recently, he caught a deal with Fast and Furious. Hey, like make that bread, bro. Like make that money.
Not gonna object to a man's hustle.
Yeah, divorce her, and just refuel your bank, bro. Like, see, sidetrack. Okay, so we'll I'm sure all you guys will agree. What would be your advice for a man that's having a horrible time with the wife?
Ditch the bitch.
But his excuse is it's cheaper to keep her.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's never cheaper to keep her. Because here's the thing. You're thinking financial cost. You're not thinking psychological cost.
Yep.
Like not to mention the opportunity cost too. Like say cheaper to keep her is like how many men would be able to pack up and leave the jobs that they currently hate to go elsewhere and travel regularly, switching jobs as opportunities pop up if they weren't tied down by a family and kids.
Exactly. And I tell men all the time, like, you're looking up to these celebrities' relationships for the past couple of years. A lot of male celebrities are getting fucking destroyed left and right. Like it's mind-boggling. Like it's even worse. And even after seeing all that crazy stuff, I'm hearing two sides of the story. Well, you're not making as much money as him, so you shouldn't have no issue from the females. I'm like, I don't give a fuck if I make 5 cents. Okay.
Honestly, that's the thing. Like the argument's worse. It's like, yeah, okay. If a dude's making like, I don't know, $10 million a year, let's say, if that's cut down to $5 million a year, that's still $5 million a year.
That she doesn't deserve.
Yeah, but I mean, like, but he still has $5 million a year to live on. If you're making $100K, now that's down to $50K.
Which is still big to that man that's making that money.
Yeah, that's still big, but like the point is, like, you can't live at like anywhere near you were. And if you're making $50K and she gets you, yeah, now you've hit the poverty line.
It's crazy. It's crazy how So many women they love to justify dragging a man through divorce and family courts because I guarantee you they will be screeching like banshees if the roles
We
were reversed.
we know they screech like banshees when the roles are reversed. We've seen
Yeah,
it.
like, you
Don't we
can't
have
do
a
that.
don't we have a couple of cases? Halle Berry and Kelly Clarkson.
And
Yeah.
Adele, don't forget
Yeah,
about Adele.
Adele.
Oh yeah, and Adele. Yeah.
He didn't work for that money. He shouldn't get any of it.
And do you know how many of them got mad at the men in the comment section saying, "Get your money, king."
You put that bag.
Yeah, get that back. They don't like it when it's the roles reversed.
I
Yeah.
never do.
And the funny thing is, like, they don't realize we're fucking joking. Like deep down, if we could just eliminate the whole idea of alimony, like altogether in both directions, we would. Like, it's like, bro, like it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. But we know that that'll never happen unless women en masse demand it. So we've got to get them screeching if there's even going to be a hope of it.
So let us move on to the next topic of the situation. Okay, how society lied to women. A big portion is family. How they lie to women. Okay, especially if the family is a single mother. What do you have to say about that guy, Pete?
Well, I mean, if you're dealing with a single mother and there's no father in the house, you're basically in a position where you only have the feminine perspective. You only have the feminine response. So if your mother is the kind of woman who got left on red seen and delivered by a Chad, you bet your ass she already has a very bitter disposition. It's the same woman who probably has an OnlyFans. She probably puts hashtag kill all men on Twitter. She probably says men are trash, this, that, and the third. And then she imparts that on her daughter. And then her daughter takes that shit to school and she spreads that everywhere. And then you got the feminist teachers who are reinforcing that shit. Yas, queen, slay. You're never wrong about anything. Again, I always like to say that women live life on Candy Crush and men are playing Dark Souls. It's two totally different experiences. And again, how it ultimately pans out, rather, is again, you got a girl. She grows up thinking this about men. And yet, because of her genes tell her to, she goes and sleeps around with a bunch of Chads, and then she thinks she deserves a ring at the end of it. Like she's going to somehow be different than her mother. It's like you need that masculine fatherly presence in the house. If you don't have that, there's going to be a cost.
That's right. You just need someone that A, can say no, and B, has the power to enforce that no.
Can you elaborate?
Well, a lot of it does depend on the family, but part of it is that like a lot of mothers won't say no to their daughters. Like if their daughter wants to go outside, like showing more skin than your average streetwalker, mom's not going to say, I'm not going to like mom's not going to threaten her in any way, shape, or form.
Well, most mothers, they worry about how their kids like them. Okay.
Like they're not confrontational.
Most fathers, they worry about their futures, in my opinion. Most mothers, they worry about how their kids will perceive them, which is not a good thing when it comes to raising children.
Correct. Because women are wired to avoid social disapproval at all costs, while a man says, look, I don't care if you like me. This is for your own good.
And that's the big thing. Like a lot of mothers won't say no to their daughters, especially if the daughter says, well, then I'll just go live with dad. Because I've seen it happen.
Another thing is a lot of men these days, they're very afraid of giving up punishment. That's a big thing. Punishment is crucial when it comes to their children so they can learn the immediate consequences, especially long-term consequences when they're older. I'm talking about if they're 16, 17, 18. I'm talking about getting ostracized from the family. Okay. A lot of fathers, they're too afraid to even do that anymore. Do I blame them? Not really. But should it still be enforced? Yes. Because if that father doesn't draw that line immediately, even as an adult, that kid will just run amok, and that father is just going to sit there and just let it happen. No, we need more fathers to say, "Hey, you're in my motherfucking house. This is my castle. If you don't want to agree to my rules, I don't care if you're 4, 8, 16, 24. You don't have to be here. Get the fuck out." What do you guys got to say about that?
Well, I've seen the results firsthand when a father will not enforce discipline on the child. Like, it's not just run wild. The child will actually get like dangerously violent. Like, I'm talking like using household objects as weapons violent.
Talking about that school shooter shit?
No, it's no.
It gets to that point though at times.
Well, that's the thing with the school shooters. In basically every case except for the Columbine one, it was a single mother household.
Oh, every case?
Aside from Columbine, to the best of my knowledge, yes, it was a single mother household.
Okay. But in all seriousness, though, yeah, I do agree. And that's why I was saying that, the systematic bullshit to kick the father out of the home, I think this is actually a bigger scheme,
What? Well, that's the other thing. Like, the father won't enforce, especially if the mother's like, "Oh no, don't hurt him, don't be mean to him. We don't want to upset him. Just try to be nice to him. Why can't you be nice to him?" Like, the woman ultimately has authority over the household
when she should not, because that's the very thing that makes her disrespect him and go and cheat in the first place.
In today's society, I agree. Yes, the mother, with the backing.
With the backing of the government. So really, the government has control over the household, and they just use the mother as their enforcer and snitch.
Yep. I agree with that 1,000,000%.
So, like that's the big contributor to the modern situation. When the government's running the house and the man couldn't even enforce discipline, assuming that he's the kind of man to do it, because you don't get a lot of the men who are enforcing discipline getting married anymore. Like, a lot of the ones who would enforce discipline, like, they would be the Chads.
And even when they do get married, have you seen the marriages lately? Jesus. Like, I don't want to say Jesus with this one, because how
they need Jesus.
Yeah, how they disrespect the holy matrimony is astronomical.
They need Jesus with a whip.
You see these wives and their bridesmaids or whatever just twerking in front of their family and friends.
These women do not know what vows mean and what it means to honor them, because there wasn't a father figure who taught them what it means to have integrity.
Exactly.
Well, it's I feel right now.
Yeah, as a man, I'm starting to realize you gotta stop giving a shit what they feel. You just gotta lead and say, "Look, this is how it's gonna be," and that's it.
Well, that's the other thing. You've also got to understand everything they say is based on feelings, not thought.
Correct. Which is why if we're gonna get shit done, we gotta rely on what the man is saying, because ultimately he's gonna be a lot more consistent.
That's why is my family, my rules. I'm talking about hypothetically if I had my own family. My family, my rules. If you don't want to follow it, man or woman, right? Whether it's your kids, like daughter or son or whatever, if you want to follow it, you can leave. It's too easy. If you think you're grown to challenge my authority, then I guess you're already good to go out to the real world.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of? It kind of reminds me. You ever notice, like, sometimes, like, you'll have, like, let's say you have, like, these dads, right? They're like 5'8" or some shit, and they have, like, these kids. They're their sons. Because the sons are way bigger than the dad, but the sons wouldn't dare lay a finger on the dad. They wouldn't fucking dare. Maybe they're bigger, maybe they're stronger, but they wouldn't dare, because there's a respect there that you only get with discipline.
I'm bigger and stronger than my own dad,
But the respect is there.
I can never try to, let me assert my dominance, blah, blah, blah. No. It's something that's taught and something that should be taught, in my opinion, because why will you give trouble to the person that, first, they gave you life, two, took care of you, for the first 18 years of your life. Like, why? It's crazy. And like you said, that guy Pete, I'm a caveat on that. The single mothers, they won't do the same. They can't do the same.
Because they're not men.
Exactly. Sons and daughters won't take her seriously when they get older.
They don't even take them seriously when they're young, really.
That's
I've known daughters who, like, with their single mother, I think it was a single stepmother, the family situation was all kinds of fucked up. But she just refused to clean her room. Absolutely refused.
Really?
Completely. Like, we're talking like ancient laundry just all over the room, not even picked up.
Yeah, fuck that. My dad would elbow drop me. I'll get she. My dad, hey, he likes his house spotless. Fuck that. My dad would fucking go WWE on me. Fuck that. My room is spick and span when I was over there. Oh shit. See, and Gray, you pretty much, with that example, what did do you know what the mom did? If she didn't clean up the room, like, do you know what happened? Or
no, from what I understand, again, it was a fucked up situation where there was like one mom who raised the kid for the first couple of years and apparently just didn't do shit. Like, did not enforce any sort of discipline. And then, like, the second mom basically just tried to negotiate.
Negotiate?
Yeah, negotiate with a 5-year-old.
Yeah, it's a fucking kid. Like, no.
What? Oh, I'm okay. It's not a laughing matter. It is a serious matter, but at the same time, not once I negotiated my fucking father. Oh, hell nah. Oh, Lordy. Oh, and that's what, Gray, once again, that's what women do, right? They're not confrontational. They're trying to make sure that everybody is happy in a situation. So,
yeah. And well, that's the thing. Like, that also teaches the kid pretty nasty shit, because then they'll learn, well, I can do all kinds of nasty shit because no one's going to stop me, because everyone's going to care more about me being happy. And then they go out into the real world and they all of a sudden need a cry closet because someone was mean to them for the first time in their entire lives.
See, that's a big thing, right? That's a big thing that my dad told me, right? Like, he's especially when I was growing up as a teenager, you will much rather have me discipline you than the fucking cops or prison. Okay, you rather want me to discipline you than the cop putting a bullet in your head, or you gotta do it getting jumped almost every day in prison. Okay, because once again, dads, they keep sons out of jail. They keep daughters off of the stripper pole. Mothers, no. It's all about if they're happy.
Yeah, and that's, God, happiness. Yeah, like, there's something that's become overvalued in society. Happiness, a temporary rush of dopamine that, quite frankly, if you wanted everyone to be happy, there's drugs for that. You could get everyone in the world happy if you just doped them up enough.
True. We'll get some good booze.
That's the thing. It's temporary.
Yeah. Emotions are always temporary. I agree.
Like, a happy society is not necessarily a healthy society.
Pretty much speaking about the U.S., yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, there's like this, like, they rate countries by happiness, and like, what's the happiness index for the country? Like,
shit, happiness is
like, which basically you just go around and you survey people with, like, I guess, like, hey, how's your life? Do you feel happy? I think, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be offset by most of the men going like, yeah, feel all right.
Yeah, it's not natural to be happy all the time. It reminds me of a skit that George Carlin did on one of his specials. He said something like about have a nice day. It's like, yo, fuck you. I've had 212 nice days in a row. I'm ready for a crappy day. like it's like the emotional range. It's part of being human. To want to be happy all the time, it's unnatural. Being content for the most part, okay, I'll give you that. But
I was
happy
about to say
all the
content.
time,
Well, like heck, we pay to be scared and terrified and grossed out.
for shits and giggles. Agreed.
Yeah, like because we need that. We need to relieve that tension sometime, and especially since society is very safe, we need actually artificial scare. Like horror games are hugely popular. Stuff that is fucking disturbing as hell. Like people love that stuff. People like being scared. Like for whatever reason, people probably have various different reasons.
Because being happy all the time, like what that guy P said, like it gets like first off, you can never be happy. Like you pretty much live in a facade if you try to pretend to be happy 24/7. And fear, it kicks up the adrenaline, right? It gives you that rush. Going to like haunted houses, bungee jumps, fast roller coasters, all that crazy stuff. You know, we at least men we thrive off of adversity. We thrive off of danger to overcome the obstacle that's ahead of us. If we were walking around pretending like, oh yeah, I'm happy, I'm good, it's good in the neighborhood, it's beyond bullshit. Everybody can see through that as well, especially women, because I consider women, I give them the nickname the agent of chaos, because since they never really had to deal with any type of adversity or obstacle in their lives, rarely, okay, they will go out of their way to look for drama. Okay, they go out of their way to look for it. What would you say, Pete?
No, I was just gonna say probably the one time where a woman is resilient is probably when you talk about war brides. That's probably like the one time I can think of where like basically like this doesn't happen anymore obviously, but like a rival tribe comes in, kills your husband, kills your family, and now you got to start all over with a new one. Like that's like the one time I can think of where they
Yep.
have to adapt.
Get pregnant all over again,
Correct.
which was life threatening back in the day,
Yeah, well,
and it still
depending
can be
on
life threatening now. With
well,
shit
dude,
hitting the fan. Huh?
we think about it like a woman, like imagine for a second, like you've actually got a woman who's decent enough to have a couple kids by the time she's 30. Then her husband and kids are wiped out, and now she's like, I better pop more kids out for this new person. Otherwise, I have no value and I'm going to the meatpacking plant.
Pretty much.
And that comes down to the point of that's why women they place so much emphasis on their puniti, because that's pretty much all they got.
Yeah, and and that makes me bring up another thing that I'm thinking about. This again, these women they're so arrogant in their first world country where the law just basically like takes men's human nature to be these barbaric savages. Like do you think we really don't possess the ability to go fucking caveman mode? We absolutely do. But there's just the laws that keep us in chains while there's really nothing to really keep the psychological advantages they have intact. So they can just go and be completely ruthless with their female nature while ours is bound by law.
So
And that's where the disparity is.
You're talking about hockey mask time.
Correct. Like this idea, like here's the thing, like I never really thought of myself as someone who has the propensity for something like that, but I really think about it like, Pete, if shit hit the fan and your family was at stake, I don't know what would happen, but I'm sure it would be something I wouldn't expect. That's all I'm saying. So I think when women kind of like try to like mock us and like say we're weak and this, that, and the third, I don't really think they fully understand what they're mocking.
Let's just say I'm willing to go the distance. I'm definitely willing to go the distance.
You got to do what you got to do. If the chips are down and it's like this or die, choose. like you got to do what you got to do.
That's the problem. Like most of the time for men, the consequences of going caveman, they're not worth it. Like, yes, like it's basically so many times a man's just going like, it's not worth going to prison for. It's not worth going to prison for. It's not worth going to prison for.
Well, considering what can happen to us in prison, no, it isn't.
Yeah. That's the thing. So like, but then these women will push a man to the point where he goes, you know what? fuck it, I ain't even gonna see the inside of a cell. Like when it gets to that point, like now he don't give a shit, because now a man can't keep him in check. And that's really the thing. Men keep other men in check. That's the way it's always been.
Correct.
And we're gonna go to the next topic. I'm sure all you guys know about it very well, right? The indoctrination camps, aka college, another place where women are lied to. Would you guys got anything to say about that?
I'd go to the most insidious part of it, like the part, because there's the obvious stuff. But then here's the thing with like elementary school, like how it starts much earlier than college.
Oh, my bad,
Heart-
y'all. My bad.
Heart,
Education, not just college. Sorry, I meant to say education.
Right,
Shit.
but here's the thing. Do you think that partial marks, where you're rewarded for going through the process of a math problem, even if you got the answer wrong, do you think that favors men or women?
Women.
Definitely women.
Bingo. So what that does is it gives them an inflated sense of, hey, I'm just as good at math as the boys, or I'm comparable in math to the boys, when no, you're getting it wrong. You're just going through the motions. You know how to copy what you saw on the board.
How about how they treat boys and girls differently?
Oh yeah,
I would say they try to treat boys like they're defective girls.
they do.
Like men are meant to be rambunctious. They're meant to be adventurous, spontaneous. They go out and explore the world around them. And it's like, no, we need you to be behaved. We need you to follow rules and this, that, and third. And that's just not a man in his natural state.
Well,
you know?
actually,
So that's definitely a big part of it. And I think the other part we already know is the participation trophy situation, right? Where I think every once in a while, a man just needs to hear, you fucking lost, Pete. You lost. Go home, get good, and come back. And they're not telling men that in the schools anymore either.
That's true.
What's the thing? Here's something that I noticed several years back, but like there's very much a disparity in like recess time and recess size. Like I was actually pretty fortunate growing up at my elementary schools. Most of the time there was massive open space for recess time. Like you could go sprinting back and forth across it all, like the entire break time. It was great. But then you compare that to some of these schools in more urban areas. It's like a prison yard has more space than this. And
true.
So that's the thing. So like guys don't even get the ability to go around and wear themselves out. So they're constantly jittery in class. And then it's like, oh, he's on ADD. Better give him some Ritalin to zone him out.
What about the teachers or the school recommending the young boys to be put on medication?
Well, that's the thing. Like Ritalin, like, oh, he probably has ADHD because he can't sit still. It's like, no, it's because he's got a ton of energy and hasn't been able to use it because you kept him inside all day because it was raining. And B, you're boring. Put this guy in front of something that he actually enjoys and he'll sit perfectly still.
Like a video game.
Not even a video game.
Still, it makes no sense.
Like I saw this video of this one kid who supposedly had ADHD, and he was watching a math video, and he's in a spinny chair, and he's freaking setting all kinds of records for the tricks and spins and whatnot. But then a video on Star Wars pops up, and he is perfectly still at attention.
Okay.
So the subject material needs to be engaging.
I agree with that.
And I see that like even in college too. Like my God, the number of people who are just sitting in the back of the class, staring at their phones the entire time or surfing Facebook on their laptop. and like at the end of it, they might take out their phone and take a photo of whatever's on the blackboard or whatever demo was done. And then they're surprised when they didn't really learn a bloody thing. I mean, heck, I've given presentations in post-secondary where I actually got pissed enough to call out the people in class for staring at their phones the entire time.
Hey,
I would do the same.
You guys gotta stop talking about it like it's that, like this is all a big accident by dumb people. This was all on purpose, and it can be traced back to the early feminist movement, the actual first wave. We know that, bro.
Oh, it goes even further back than that.
It goes way back than that.
The feminists were active pre-World War I.
Skathy, we know what we're talking about. We're just speaking on a particular subject. Okay, relax.
Yeah, like we're really just pointing out all the individual details because like there's going to be some guys who like they don't realize that this is like all the various other ways, and we're only covering a fraction.
And this was 19th century, Skathy. Okay, we know what we're doing. It's just we're just speaking on a particular subject. I don't know if you joined late in the live stream.
Yeah, that's something I just want to build off that. Again, we've all been pre-red pill before, right? So again, maybe for him, it's like, okay, yeah, this is nothing new, right? Yeah, women got the right to vote. They voted for all this stupid shit, and here the fuck we are. Yeah, for you, it's obvious like the sky is blue, but there are a lot of guys out there, this is the first time they're hearing this shit, and that's who this is for.
Yes, that's why we're breaking it down Barney style, okay? As for the newcomers and for the people that has already been here, we're just reminding them. Why do you think I always say take your daily dose of red pills?
So you don't slip back into the fantasy.
You're one BJ away from going back to the plantation.
Well, that's the thing. Like on one end, there's like going to be Zoomers and Gen Alpha who don't understand. And this might be the first time they get to hear, you know, like heads up, guys, you're not stupid. You're not. The school was just not built for you. Mm-hmm. Don't let your freaking grades dictate your self-worth because that shit was not designed for you.
You're not stupid. You're not crazy. Okay.
Yeah. And then on the other hand, you're going to have a bunch of like maybe there's some fathers here, like some Gen Xers. And like they don't know what's happening to their kids in schools. They don't understand why Bobby got C's whereas Susie got A's. And it's like, well, this could be part of the issue, man.
Yeah, you just reminded me of another funny it was either like a meme or a comic I saw. It's like when our grandparents were kids and the kid was fucking up in school, the parents would be like, yo, why are you trash at school? But now you had like millennial and Zoomer kids, and the parents are like looking at the teacher. Why do you suck at teaching? and it's just like the disconnect is fucking insane.
I think my dad is Gen X. Yeah, I think he's Gen X. Yeah. My dad didn't play when it comes to school. I never misbehaved. It was just the grades bullshit that my dad like. How'd you get a C? I'm like, Dad, I can't understand fucking Spanish. Maybe that's why. I didn't say it to him, you know, face to face, but I'm like, Dad, you know, you think you could do better in Spanish than me?
No habla español, señor.
Right.
Mi español es mierda.
Yo hablo un poco español. Yeah, I'm like, Dad, come on, bro. Like, it got to the point where I got to level 6 in Spanish, and I got a D+. I walked up to my parents. I'm like, I'm not doing this shit no more. They're like, okay. I'm like, that's it. Because
at least you tried.
Yeah, like we had to write essays in Spanish at that point.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, if you're getting a D+ doing that, like, let's be honest, most people can't do that unless they were born in Spain.
Right, and don't get me wrong, I had fun with Spanish. I had fun, but like this shit's getting stupid. Like, I don't want to do this shit no more. I'm trying to lift weights and play, you know, sports in the gym, you know, because that's part of the classes, like weightlifting classes, team sports, regular gym classes. Hell, I did yoga once. I'm glad I did yoga. I saw some good some nice looking girls back in high school. I was like, God damn, I'm glad I joined this class. But I got one more topic before I start inviting callers in. The final thing that lies to women all the time is, I think, is the crucial, the thing that set it off when it comes to Red Pill, MGTOW, and the manosphere: social media. What do you guys got to say about social media?
I've actually, this I heard quite a while back, and it really dictates social media from the ground up. Women are more likely to share things than men, especially if it's negative.
Have you noticed that they treat social media like a fucking diary?
It's Gossip Girl.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
So the thing is, like, statistically, men are less likely to share bad news. Like, they'll share good stuff, but they won't share negative things.
Because we're built to handle that shit ourselves.
Precisely. Whereas women share bad news. But then now you look at all these articles that are just women complaining about the most trivial of bullshit. Like, in the economy of clicks, that's gold.
Yeah, I've noticed that, men, we don't really give, well, most men, we don't really give two shits about the likes and the shares and all that crazy stuff. But there's women out there literally get straight out depressed, like borderline about to eliminate themselves because of social media, not getting enough likes, somebody didn't share them. It's pathetic to me. It's pathetic how
I only got 4K likes on my latest post. Gonna go kill myself. Bye.
Yeah. What's interesting about it is I highlight this all the time on my channel. This idea that women are wired to avoid social disapproval at all costs. But if the likes, aka the approval that they can get by airing out their dirty laundry, supersedes that disapproval, they're gonna do it. And that's why all those clips of like people cheating on their boyfriends and shit and all that is out on the internet. So
and they're literally smiling. I remember the compilation of somebody made on that forbidden TikTok.
yeah.
Of a bunch of women saying I cheated on my boyfriend. Oh, I slept with this guy, I slept with that guy, and they're literally, you don't see no hint of shame, none.
Correct. And that's why something that previously used to be shamed is now acceptable to post, because they looked at it and like, well, when I'm weighing the old stigmas of the old ways against the approval and the likes I'm getting from the new ways, I get more approval by posting it. But if you're a guy and you're not an idiot, you can use that to your advantage to avoid these women.
But on the other hand, well, I guess on the same hand, but further up the arm or whatever, like, if you do give any sort of disapproval to women posting that stuff, your account gets it canned in the shitter.
Correct, because the people who run it want to secretly bang that girl, probably.
Well, no, but that's the thing. Like, there's that aspect, but then, like, back to the economy of likes. A man holding a woman to account is not going to create as much clickbait material as a woman posting her dirty laundry.
It's like the news with ratings. Yep, it's the same idea.
Well, and that's why, like, so much of, like, network television caters to women. Like, who's more susceptible to the commercials there? Who's going to be doing the majority of spending? It's going to be women. So what's every cable TV, every channel on Netflix, they're all chasing the female wallet through getting female attention. And so they cater to female fantasies.
Correct, because there's a hive mind that can be manipulated to make money. You can't do that to a man who thinks for himself.
Yep. Men, we primarily focus on individualism. I think I said it right.
Yeah.
And women, they are definitely, like you said, they're primarily focused on social aspects. They're way more easily influenced. In fact, Tim Pool on his channel, he spoke about today, where he said, yeah, based on statistics, women are way more likely to go into cults than men.
Of
If
course,
you
because they have a
know that.
natural impulse to be led.
Yes. Literally, yeah, it's on his channel that I saw today. Literally, he said, yeah, women are way more likely to join some crazy ass cults than men. Who's that one infamous cult leader?
Jim Jones, like
The other
Jonestown.
other guy. He had a beard and he was acting all weird in court. Hold up, let me see.
Jack Murphy.
No, I'll look it up real quick.
The other cult leader.
That was good, Gray. That was good.
But in the end, right? Yeah, modern women, especially when it comes to social media, they hang on to it like a freaking, that's the last ladder on a boat or something like that, because they can't. They know, especially, hey, if you guys want to disagree, go for it. But this goes back to biology. You cannot escape biology, all right? Especially when it's only, 100 years, a little bit over 100 years. You can't escape a million years or millions of years of evolution, all right? So let's go back to tribalism. If the woman is not accepted among her peer group, or the man deems her as unfit to be some type of wife or concubine, that's a death sentence.
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't even, like, tribalism is one thing, but it goes back to, like, beyond just humans, mammals in general. Like, I'm looking to find this one, like, study that did like gender segregation with mice, but like in the absence of men, the female mice will literally kill themselves trying to get at the men rather than just live on their own. Like, so this is some deep-rooted mammalian stuff. We're going beyond the ape here.
Well, yeah, you're right. You're right. What the fuck is his name? I'm looking up the name. You guys can continue. I'm looking up a name right quick.
Yeah, I think, wasn't there another thing where like they separated the men, the women, and they were kind of left to fend for themselves, and like men were going out gathering wood, hunting and shit, and building shelters, but the women were like totally lost and like didn't know what to do or some shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, the survival one. I forget exactly what it's called. It was like survival men versus women, something like that.
Yeah, that
and
was
like
it.
the women took 3 days to find the coastline on an island.
What?
Dead serious. It took them 3 days to get to the coast.
Okay. That's all I can say is just okay.
Yeah.
Like I got nothing.
Think Before You Sleep did a great video on it. Like, he really went into depth on that one. So highly recommended.
Yeah, he's a good channel.
Because it's like they were arguing back and forth, and they wouldn't let any one of them take the leadership position, and so they split off into multiple groups, and some of them got lost. Like, whereas the men, like, they're like, all right, so
That's his name. His name is Charles Manson.
Yeah.
I was trying to think about that. Yeah, he was the one that was acting all weird in court. Acting all crazy and shit. Like, ooh, like, yeah, I created a cult. What you gonna do?
And technically, I don't think making a cult's illegal.
No, because it's technically a religion.
That's the thing. Like, you can't. I don't know if you can, but you don't think that gathering a large number of people in one place and just doing isolated stuff on your own, so long as you pay your taxes, I don't think the government can actually do anything about you.
Yes, I definitely agree, man. But So before we continue with the call-ins, that guy Pete, what's your overall perspective on the topic today on how society lies to women? I know you said before, but if you ever do a recap.
I mean, yeah, the simplest way to put it for those who are just tuning in now, women are basically being told that they can be hoes in their 20s and that they'll still get the same exact outcome that their mothers and grandmothers, who may be happily married, they're going to get that same outcome. Despite the fact that they're living life like a single woman, they think they're going to get a married outcome. And it's not how it works, because a woman's sexual market value and a woman's relationship market value are not the same. Simple as that.
I agree. What about you, Gray?
I'd say that like we've got all kinds of liars trying to fleece everybody for money. It's just far more effective, profitable, and there's less consequences for fleecing women. And the stuff that they're fleeced over often takes a lot longer to bite back at them. Like they're not capable of realizing what's going to happen in their 60s when they're in their 20s.
I agree 1,000,000%. Rishi, I think you already did it, but I'm gonna do it again. What's your overall perspective on how society lies to women?
Well, it's obviously, a few different levels. Like Grace said, there's definitely a lot of fleecing going on because women are much more susceptible to emotional manipulation, so they're used that way. They're also pretty much coddled as well into believing, mostly by each other, I think. Like, for whatever reason, where it would be like to keep the lie going for like emotional reasons, or just to like make sure if it's just crabs in the bucket to pull each other to the ground, or if it's just, to sell them something. But they're always sold that they're the boss bitch, stuff like that. They're strong and independent until reality finally catches up with them.
I agree with that 1,000,000%. All right. So before I start adding some call-ins, you know what time it is. It's shield time. If you want to support my channel or the Warband in general, please click on the link that's on top of the chat and donate to paypal.me/Yeetus. 100% of the money will be going towards to the Warband because currently we have to rebuild. All right. It's some bullshit that's been happening this week. But 100% of the money will be going towards that, and any donation is definitely appreciated. In fact, we have one donation I just saw, and I am just going to say your name is CS. Sir Yeetus. Yeet. You grind hard, homie. Keep up the great work, and thanks for another awesome live. Oh, D-Man50. Hey, D-Man50, thank you very much for a donation. If I could be monetized, I would, but Susan doesn't like skeletons, so yeah. God damn it. We are going to add our first caller. Rishi, can you spam the chat with the StreamYard link?
Sure.
Thank you. Carry on, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm good.
I know you've been here the entire time. I know you've been waiting for a while, so
Oh no, it was fun listening to it anyway.
okay, cool. So based on what you've heard, about the topic, what's your perspective?
Well, I'm not sure like how deep it goes and if like who planned this all, but there's so many aspects like we said with music and media from a young age. I said like you can even say like since they are able to understand or have some form of consciousness, it could be women or like boys and girls are bombarded with certain images and concepts that their parents might even know that they're under the influence of as well. So It's just like a small trick that's being put on people, and it just keeps on frustrating enough that gets like every time they mature and their brain becomes more solid, it's like hammer it in more and more until the point that they get to the point like, hey, are you ready going to follow this, or you're not complete under the mind control? So like when it gets to college, that's probably like the point where it's like it's finally done, and they've gone through like different levels of indoctrination to like, because they said like your brain kind of finishes up maturing around like 25 or some crap like that. I'm not sure, but like think about this: from a child all the way up to like your 20s or 21, you're telling brainwashed into believing this thought and process that your world is going to cater to you, that someone's always against you, and so on and so on, like bullshit that feminists would say, and that there's always someone else trying to get you down. But if you try hard enough, you can live the perfect life. You can be the boss bitch. You can have a good company. And now when you want to give it up, you can have a family and do the boss bitch shit at the same time. So it's like they're brainwashed, and it's like I feel bad for them because they never actually had a decent chance to actually be told. Well, that's if they don't have a good father or a decent environment. Because just being a parent by yourself, like if you have a good dad and good mom, that's good, but you're gonna have a good environment, and else you're still gonna end up fucked in the end.
I agree 1,000,000%. The influence that the world has on these young women, they really believe that they won't be suffering consequences for their bad behavior and decisions. Whether it's in their younger age or when they hit the wall, everybody has to suffer the consequences.
Yeah, even if
You
it's
know,
something that you positive, like just say that you went to the gym, you still have consequences, even if it's a positive thing. It's not like a negative. There could be positive and negative like consequences for actions you take. Like if I choose to stay in my house all the time, just eat food, there's consequences for that. Like there could be like, hey, you didn't go outside that day, so nothing bad happened to you, but like you didn't get robbed, but like you didn't go outside, you didn't get sunlight, you didn't go outside to do exercise, like the minimum amount of exercise is just walking around. So every action has like a reverse consequence for it. But most people don't really know that. It's like me selling this idea that if you eat this food or you take this pill or something like a drug, and it'll make your life wonderful and you have everything you want. But it's like everything you want until you get to 30 or 35. It's like, yeah, there's a limit. You use up all your energy for all those times, and I thought when it comes to the point that you want to actually improve yourself and just actually think for once, you're kind of fucked because you can waste your time living in this fancy la la land.
but all these women, they're gonna blame it on you for the reason why they're single.
Well,
They're
they're
gonna blame the
technically not.
entire male population.
Well, they're technically not wrong, but they're not right completely. It's like one side of the puzzle.
Exactly. But they don't want to acknowledge it because accountability is a woman's kryptonite.
Actually, I've got a little extra thing on that because
Huh?
brought up an interesting point about cults earlier, and that
Oh,
got me thinking of a thing I heard about like how cults make it so that the people inside them can't leave. And a big part of that is cutting off their connections, breaking them away from their friends, their family, etc., to the point where the cult is their family, the cult is their friend. They don't have anything beyond that. So if you think like a lot of these feminists with feminism and the feminist hive mind as the cult, like once you've broken away their family, once you've broken away their friends, and they don't have any friends or family who are outside the cult, well, then when consequences come a knocking, if they turn against their cult, their friends, their family, they literally have no one. Absolutely no one.
that is true. I definitely agree. But what do you got to say about that guy, Pete?
I mean, honestly, I think I might actually be at a loss for words. I mean, nothing to really add. I think Gray kind of covered all of it, so I can't really say anything without being redundant.
True.
Yeah, I mean, Gray, you really unpacked it.
Okay. Carrion, do you have anything else to say to the Warband before I move on to the next caller?
Well, in general, it's like people say that you need well, you guys were saying that you need a decent father, and yeah, that's true. You need a decent father, but one man can't really raise a child as a say like one parents can't raise a child as a village. So you could have a good environment and you could be great, but if you don't have a decent environment to like look after your children because you're not gonna be there all the time, you're like your wife could be a decent, understandable person, but you can't just be like one man army fighting a whole government, a whole system. You're gonna need like a group of people around you that has similar ideas to a degree that you can trust them, that they won't push negative ideas that go against you and your family onto your children and influence them to do actions that would like negatively affect them. So it's good to be grounded, but it's also like and understand what you want to do. Have like yourself on like lock down and do your best, but you're gonna have people to work with because the world's fucked. But if you have some people to get through it, it's a little bit more better to be around people. So yeah,
Okay. Thank you very much for joining the
Yeah.
chat. And there will be a live stream tomorrow.
yeah. So see you guys later. Huniti.
Who
Need-
need
need
to-
to- All right, we're gonna add just some random guy. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's up, Yeetus? What's up, Warband?
What's up, Puniti?
Boniti.
All right.
Man. The topic at hand of society lying to women, you know, I don't think we should sympathize with them because even if they're lied to and all that, um, she could have a good father figure, you know. But the
Yeah.
moment she realizes that she's been lied, well, she's gonna be angry. But like I said in my comments, when she realizes that those lies are advantages to her, she's gonna roll with them. That's why we should not have sympathy for them. They know it's a lie sooner or later, and they try to gain advantage on it.
I see what you're saying, bro.
Yeah,
So here's another question. Would you put modern women at fault for how things are turning out, or would you blame it on how society's lying to them?
I put on them 100% because, like being weak, it's one thing to be weak. It's all right, but it's inexcusable to keep being weak, and
Right.
it's the same with the lies. They know when they understand that it's a lie, and they see that that lie benefits them, they keep on rolling with it, and whenever things don't go their way, they're gonna cry wolf. When they knew 100% what were the consequences, they're gonna act stupid and say, "Oh, but nobody told me about the war, but you already knew about it."
Pretty much. Okay, I see what you're saying, man. I see what
Yeah,
so that guy P, same question to you. Would you blame modern women themselves, or would you blame society lying to them?
Well, that's the tricky part, isn't it? Because on the one hand, men are wired to lead. So when simps are the majority of the population, they dictate what's acceptable. But on the other hand, women do make choices. And I think that what just some random guy is saying is definitely true. They will try to have their cake in their 20s. And then when they wake up one morning, they're 30, and they press the button to have their cake, and the cake doesn't show up anymore, they start bitching, pissing, and moaning. It's kind of like when they happily collect the alimony, and then when they're in the 3% and they got to pay out, then they start bitching, pissing, and moaning. So I would say at the end of the day, just like men, they have a right to make choices. And when they make bad choices, it is on them at the end of the day. Yeah. So I agree for the most part. Yeah. But simps can have to stop being simps. That's another part of it too. They have to stop. Because if they don't stop, this is never going to end.
I mean, I was thinking about this earlier because how did the Sims get in power, actually?
Well, in World War One, the feminists made sure that any man with a spine was sent off to die.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
Well, just a random guy. Do you have anything else to say to the Warband before we let you go?
Well, I think it's for Ruby. I hope it's in the chat, but I hope he doesn't get some child support papers next week.
All right, you're talking about that situation. Okay.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Oh shit! Oh, that's way too funny.
I'm
Ruby
your
Jr.
#1 fan. Oh, I hope you don't kidnap me. Oh, I would never do that to you, Ruby. I love you.
that was weird as fuck, bro.
There's
That was
an entire
so
wall.
weird.
There's an entire wall with Ruby photos.
I was like,
It's
what
like-
the hell?
I was thinking like Buddy from The Incredibles. I'm your #1 fan. I am not affiliated with you.
The first live stream Ruby does, and that happens. Oh man!
But thank you for joining, man, and I definitely will have another stream tomorrow.
Sure, man.
All right, peace out, Puniti.
Puniti.
Uniti.
Uniti.
Unity.
So, do you guys have anything else to talk about when it comes to this topic? You know, this is freestyle right now.
We didn't talk about the Disney films, did we? Or did you
we
guys
didn't talk
already go
about
that?
Disney.
Damn.
Yeah, the Disney
Well-
films, that's the other half of it, right? The Disney films is like, oh, you know, watch all this Sex in the City in your teen years, but then when you get into your late 20s, just remember those films you watched as a little girl. You deserve that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, of course,
There's
best
always
counter to
Prince
that.
Charming, bro.
Chad has different plans. He's looking at your younger sister like, what's that about?
Yeah. Well, then you just reminded like, hey, you know all those Disney princesses that you think you're like? They were all virgins.
Yeah, they didn't tell him that part.
They were virgins.
Every single one.
Yeah, if these girls could, man, like I heard like there's like this surgery where women they have their punitis like fixed to try to make it look like it never happened. It's like they think they could just like go to the DMV and like get their V card renewed or something. It's like bro, that doesn't work. You can't undo a body count. Like I don't understand. Like I think they do get it. Like they understand, which is why they lie about their body count. Like they know, but again, it's like just some random guy said, it's like once the ride is over and they realize, hey, I can't have my cake anymore. That's when they kind of just whatever. It's like, yeah, you go to the DMV window, they just close the fucking window on you. It's like, nah, I ain't doing that shit. I ain't losing my job for you. Fuck you. Get out of here.
Yeah, like that's it's always a bit of a struggle there because I'm trying to figure exactly how to say this, but like female agency, how much of it they actually have. Like I definitely can't say that they have as much as men. Like that's kind of the issue.
In what sense? Sexually?
No, in like life choices. Like again,
well,
like
we definitely have more individuality than them. That's for sure.
Individuality, but agency.
Agency? Okay.
Yeah, like we make our own. Like, a man on average, I think, would prefer to make his own choices and suffer his own consequences rather than have someone else make the decisions for him.
Yes, I'd rather hold the L for my own bad choices. Correct.
Yeah. Whereas women, by and large, wouldn't. Does that seem reasonable?
Well,
You're saying women would rather have someone else make the decisions, and yeah, I mean, yeah, that sounds about right, given how society's currently structured, where they want to go and crash the boat into the iceberg, so to speak, let the Titanic sink, and then they want the man to jump to the bottom of the ocean and fetch out the ring that she threw off the boat. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So Like that's the issue. Like, do they? That's the thing. Like once you know that and realize that, can you hold a female's choice to the same standards that you would hold a male's choice?
Well, again, I don't think as men we give a fuck. You fuck 50 dudes, you get no ring. There's guys I'll say you fuck one dude, you get no ring. This is non-negotiable. And women don't really understand the gravity of what that is. But I don't feel like right now, as in your terminology, that that's how I made the choice. I didn't feel at the moment that I had the power. And, you know, he chose to bang me. So, you know, it's his choice too. And it's like they just do that rationalization hamster shit.
Mm-hmm.
And as a guy, it's like, look, I don't give a fuck. At the end of the day, the body counts the body. And that's why they get so angry when you bring up that topic, because they know.
As a woman, I'm going to hold you accountable as a woman for having a past like that, sleeping with countless men. I'm going to hold you accountable.
Because, again, I understand that if you're running circles around me in terms of body count, you probably have better experience than me, which means that I'm probably not going to be the alpha imprint, which means if I put a ring on you, we're going to be at like the 7-year mark where you start thinking about those guys in college from the fraternity that were 10 times better than I could ever be because those guys were fucking hopped up on coke when they were smashing you. And you want to relive those glory days. And we have kids and shit. And you're still like, but this is what I feel right now. And as a result, I'm just going to crash the boat because I know the government's going to save my ass.
And what if those men come back into her life? That makes it even worse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, and you know it's funny when the guy comes back into her life, he's just coming for a booty call. He doesn't give a shit if he crashes your whole marriage. He don't give a shit.
Yeah,
and why should he? He has no obligation to you. It's nice when bros honor the code, but you can't expect it reasonably.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, just some random guy. It's a hymen reconstruction surgery. Yeah, I know about all that. But worst comes to worst, they love to, you know, twerk them cheeks on Saturday and proclaim themselves as born-again virgins on Sunday.
And after mass, they'll be in the confession booth.
Yep.
And they're not confessing in the booth. That's for sure.
Sorry, I love the whole born again thing because it's like you mean you fucked up so bad you had to respawn.
Yeah, literally, like they literally had to get surgery to.
No, it's like you're a born again Christian, meaning you fucked up so bad as a Christian you had to be reborn and give it a second go.
Yeah, again, that's not how it works.
But, yeah, don't believe these females when they say that they're virgins. Plenty of them are quote unquote born again virgins.
Oh god, some of them are like, I haven't had sex in a week. I feel just like a virgin.
Like, I'm gonna elbow you in the face, bitch. Like, I ain't that stupid. Like, seriously, like I hate it when modern women, they really think that men are that dumb. Okay. It's ridiculous. I don't know what kind of men that you
to be fair, for
with.
every intelligent man that would tell them shit, there's 1,000 men in their DMs.
And not even just that, but there's a gender studies professor that actively is telling them how fucking stupid we are. They're running propaganda campaigns against us. And then when you actually have a guy with half a fucking brain, what did they label him? Toxic.
Evil.
Of course.
Well, that's the thing. Like in media in general, any competent man is evil.
Correct, because we're a threat.
Like honestly, I can't freaking. Like, that's the thing. I don't watch any of the Marvel films, so I'm not sure. But
me neither. Don't feel bad.
But that's the thing. So like, I'm not really in tune with the zeitgeist of the.
I think Rishi's judging us.
Idolized
Marvel.
But that's the thing. But like outside of, I don't know, maybe a couple of the Marvel heroes, what positive men are there? Like that are actually like, you know, competent, intelligent, physically fit, and not evil.
Yeah. Yeah. I think honestly they put them on the screen for women as eye candy because like, yo, there's my stepsister and her cousin, right? they watch like all the superhero shit. So the superhero films and all that shit, like girls are really into that shit. So I think they kind of put them on there as eye candy. But on the other side of that, like not the hero, not the light triad, is the dark triad, like 50 Shades of Grey. So there's like a wide gamut of things that set off their dopamine because, you know, that rush, because they're hooked on social media all the time. They just need constant variety and novelty. It's weird almost. It's kind of like a psychological Coolidge effect for women. It's very, very strange. Because, you know, traditionally speaking, it's usually men who have that Coolidge effect where we constantly need variety with women, like different kinds of women, Latina girls, blonde girls, everything in between. That's us. But they seem to kind of be following us a little bit in that regard with this type of stuff.
But we're gonna start dying down this live stream early because I want some food. Gray, do you have anything else to say to the Warband before we head out?
I guess I'd say in general, like while women are the primary target of the media, like always keep your guard up for someone trying to scam you as well, like and sell you a fantasy. Because if anything feels too good to be true, or someone's telling you, oh, it's just easy, all you have to do is follow my program or buy my book, 99 times out of 100 they're a shyster. There's never a substitute for hard work and discipline.
I agree 1,000,000%, man. Thank you, Gray, for coming to the live stream once again.
Thank you again for hosting.
Another live stream tomorrow, and hopefully there'll be a very important live stream on Friday. That's gonna be a big one. Puniti and don't do drugs in front of your parents.
Puniti, good advice.
Puniti.
That guy Pete.
Sir Yeet.
How do you feel about the surge of your stardom?
Well, I mean, listen, it's a dopamine rush, but I'm not gonna let it get to my head. You know,
Right.
I've been going through the comments because with surge of subscribers, there's a lot of commentary. I try to respond to everybody. Eventually, it's gonna get to a point where there's just too many subs. That's inevitable. It always happens. But Stardust definitely sent over an interesting bunch. Most of them seem to share my sentiments, so I can definitely see why he sent them over my way. They kind of share my ideas.
I agree, and in fact, I want to talk about that topic tomorrow.
In regards to what?
How men should look at their own, future immortality. How men should perceive it. Should.
Oh, you're talking about my most recent video.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Because you got me thinking. After I watched that, I watched the entire 23 minutes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like one of the comments was pretty fucking brutal. I'm pretty sure it was a chick. It has to be a fucking chick. She wrote some shit like, "You deserve everything that happened to you," and I kind of replied like, "Why would you say that to me?" Like it was just so fucking bad, bro. But I mean,
all I said is I wanted to die alone. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, some people just don't care, bro. Internet is savage, but
Hey.
that comment was like, "Damn."
MGTOW,
But no, it's a good topic.
They don't like that MGTOW people that they don't like men doing their own thing because once again
They don't like
men
They don't like social disapproval. That's what
That
they
too.
don't like.
Yeah.
But it's like, look, it's not my fault. You suck. Like that's your fault. You did that. You could have not done that.
Yes, that is your prerogative. why
And yeah,
do I have to? What'd you say?
I made it out of the YouTube hood.
Yeah, fucking.
He's
I
funny,
heard
bro. He was the first one who told me. He was like, "You made it out of the hood, bro." I'm like, "No fucking way." He's like, "Yeah, go check it out." And I was like, "Oh shit."
Oh shit, man! But can you please show your channel, because the more eyes on your channel, the better, in my opinion.
Sure. So I am that guy, Pete. You refuse to invite to gatherings. I'm kind of the manosphere nexus between red pill, black pill. I got everything. It's organized into playlists. Pick a topic that resonates with you. Watch that playlist, and if you want to expand, you can learn about other stuff too. So yeah, it's a good space, and I try to make it welcoming, so you always have a place.
Can you put your link in the private chat?
Yeah, I will do that. Just give me a second.
Too easy.
But yeah. Anything else you want to ask me before we wrap up?
Well, what's the big thing? What? One more question. What made you want to start creating content when it comes to particular topics within the manosphere?
Yeah, so I think for me, it was about in 2017 I started getting Red Pill content, and believe it or not, I actually watched the Red Pill documentary with Cassie J. And there was a part of that where I was watching this story of this guy who got divorced, he got dragged through the courts, he got separated from his kids, and he went out into the middle of the desert and blew his brains out. And once I heard that, I was like, yo, this, and the guy was like, this happens more often than you think. And I was like, this is unacceptable. This is not okay. And I kept digging and digging and digging, and I kept learning for about 3 years. And then finally, like in 2020, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to start talking and sharing my ideas. And I mean, that's pretty much how it happened. For me, it's just like, listen, if we can pull these guys out and stop them from doing something stupid, then it's all worth it. And they don't even have to use my channel to learn. You know, there's some people that have already said, like, you know, that guy Pete, his videos are a little bit long. He's not really my cup of tea. That's okay. I don't really care how you get from point A to point B. As long as you find a way, that's good enough for me. Just anything is better than self-deletion. Anything is better.
All right, that is good, man. That is good. I'm definitely gonna pin your link into my live stream because you definitely deserve more views.
I appreciate that, Yeet. I appreciate
And
the continued
I know
support.
that you're not about the views. I know you proclaimed that plenty of times, but the more men that can get eyes on your channel, much better. I believe, and what what he said, I believe if you and Hammerhand can make a collab on a live stream or a video, it will be phenomenal. Oof.
It probably would be an interesting conversation, and I'm definitely open to talking to Hammerhand or anybody else operating in the space. But
Yeah.
as I always keep saying to you, and I know you don't believe me, you probably think I'm full of shit, but I'm not. Like, just technologically speaking, like, I'm trash, bro. I'm trash. You're talking a kid who used to play NES, bro. Super
How old are you
Nintendo. I'm 31.
I'm not that far from you.
You're not that far from me, but that small window makes a difference.
That's true. You're right. You're right.
That the 90s was when technology was like blasting off. It was a good time to be alive, for
Yeah,
sure.
the first one for me was the 64. No, the GameCube. That was the first console I played. I remember that weird ass controller.
Yeah, so I was playing video games three video game generations before you.
But I had played all those though.
Yeah.
Especially Dreamcast.
Oh, Dreamcast is underrated, bro. That system is underrated.
Yeah,
it's a shame what happened to Sega after that.
Yeah, what the fuck, man? Dreamcast was the shit. I love Dream. Wasn't which games were popular on there? Was it like Soul Calibur on there?
I believe Soul Calibur was on there, and it was probably one of the better rated fighting games on the system. Yeah, and Sonic Adventure and Adventure 2 were the two big like flagship titles. Those games were really good. I'm a huge
and on the controller they had like a little screen with like the little mini-me's.
Yeah, it was kind of like a Tamagotchi type thing, I think. Yeah, and then it also doubled as a memory card, and you plug it into the controller to save your game.
Right, I thought that was so dope, man. They need to bring Dreamcast back.
For 1998, yeah, it was pretty fucking awesome.
They need to bring Dreamcast back. You know, they definitely criminally underrated Dreamcast.
For sure. Absolutely.
But thank you for joining, man. I will have a live stream tomorrow. Hopefully you'll be able to join because I believe you'll be able to contribute.
What time?
Let me see. Today's Tuesday. 5:30. What time is it? Where are you at right now?
I'm on Eastern time. So if you're so what? Are you on Central time?
6:30 your time.
6:30 my time. I get off work at 6. As long as the boss doesn't drop the tax season schedule tomorrow, which means I'd have to work till 8. That's gonna blow chunks, but it is what it is. It's part of my job.
Too easy, man. I'll just invite you if come by late.
Yeah, I figured like you guys go for like a couple hours. So worst case scenario, I come in middle of the chat and I drop a few words.
All right, man. Thank you for dropping by and good luck on the success on your channel, bro.
Yeah, thanks, Heat. I appreciate your continued support.
All right, Puniti.
Puniti.
E.T.
Woo!
Whoop, whoop.
All right, Rishi. Do you have anything else to say about the stream today?
Yeah. It's a good stream. Definitely. Yeah. For like the topic in particular, yeah, we all know that society, tells women these things like, "Oh, you're boss bitch," but they're not telling them because they actually believe it for the most part. They just want to like pretty much use and manipulate them for their own purposes, if you know what I mean, whatever that may be,
Yes.
whether it's like fleecing them or just them manipulating them into doing a certain thing. So,
Yep, I agree 1,000,000%. All right, gentlemen, society, they have to keep women under wraps when it comes to how they feel, quote unquote, because if they can manipulate their feelings, it's too easy to control them overall. Because for a woman, they primarily base their decision on feelings, and feelings change like the weather. Control the feelings is pretty much mind control at that point, gentlemen. Let's keep it real. Think on that. Think on that. Thank you very much for stopping by the live stream today. I know it's pretty short, but before I leave, I'm going to spam the Manic Mechanics live stream. Definitely go over there and watch some good gaming content. All right, chat. Definitely go over there and watch some good gaming. All right, because that's what he does. I
and
am out.
also
Oh,
join the Minecraft server. We're growing every day, bro.
yeah, join the Minecraft server. But I am out. Hopefully, you guys got your daily dose of red pills. And once again, once I spam this link, head over there and join our fellow Warband member, Manic the Mag Mechanic. I am out. And
Cheers, motherfucker.
goddamn turkey, are you freaking kidding me?